Hello YouTube. So probably gonna make this a video because I was looking around to see if there's any tips or tricks for this. Didn't really find any. So today I'm installing my Longtube stainless works LS swap headers for S10s. Yeah, they're long tubes. They don't come apart, and there's special instructions for it. First one being that you got to cut the ears off the transmission, especially like 4L80 E. So I went ahead and did that so far. I'm kind of in the middle of it right now. But you got to cut the ears off. You got to remove a lot of shit. Like, this is not, you're not going to be able to just like put it in and expect it to go in. Right now I just got the driver's side in, and it's taken about like 20 different attempts to get it squeezed through there to where I get it home. I'll show you real quick. I haven't got to the passenger side yet, so we'll get to that in a few. But the driver's side, it says in the instructions that you can go down through the top. The passenger side, it says to come up through the bottom. I don't have a lift. So, and I'm looking at it, I don't know how that's going to work, but I don't know. We haven't got to that side yet, and I heard the passenger side is the side that's a bitch. So, but anyways, I'll show you what I got so far. So, I had the Hydro Boost unit, all that had to come off. I'm in the middle of doing all kinds of stuff to my motor here. I just ported PRC heads on there and different water pump, but my pulley bracket here is dislocated. Everything, like pretty much anything in this general vicinity has to be removed. You shouldn't, I don't know, you probably don't have to remove your steering column like I did. I removed that because when I was doing my heads, the head bolt down in there, let's see if I can get a better look at it. Yeah, the one underneath that last runner there on number 7, you can't get that bolt out with the steering column in place because it lines up perfectly with the nub on the steering column shaft. Obviously you have to remove your steering shaft, all that stuff. All that has to come out. I kind of have my Hydro Boost unit held up here by an old intake valve. Yeah. But now that it's in, I only have the front and rear bolts in. I don't have all the bolts in or the gasket on. They give you some RTV stuff to use with these. I don't know if I'm going to use that yet or not. I have the BTR header manifold gaskets, so I think I'm going to run with those instead of using RTV or whatever that stuff is. It came with a big tube of it. But needless to say, it's not fully installed yet, and I did that for a reason because I haven't done the passenger side yet. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself and get this one fully installed. And I'm already looking at probably having to reroute some fuel hoses and stuff. Hopefully I don't have to redo too many, but my main fuel hose right here, she kind of snakes over that. I don't know if I'm going to just put some protectant stuff on it. I got some heat shield stuff on the way. And then my shifter cable runs right over the top of this pipe too. So there's definitely going to be some stuff in that department that I'm going to have to change up. My brake lines, they're all custom made here. So I had to definitely, thankfully I did NICOP, so they're easy to adjust and just kind of move out of the way. But yeah, that's another thing that I don't know if I'm going to readjust my brake lines or not. I probably just rebend those a little bit and make it work, but I might possibly have to redo my fuel hose stuff here. I'm not sure yet. Definitely have to protect it one way or another. That's another thing to look out for. These headers get hot as fuck. So now on this side, I haven't even started on this side, so we still got the ear on. Sorry for my awesome camera work, but the ear is this guy right here, sticking out from the side of the transmission. basically, this is a requirement to get these in. There's no fucking way you can get them in if you don't cut those off. Starter has to come off. I already knew that. So that's going to be the first thing I do here before even trying to get this passenger side header on, is removing the starter, and then I'm going to lop this ear off. And another thing I might have to redo is my transmission cooler lines here. You can see them running through. I am using stainless steel braided PTFE hose, but I really don't want to push my luck having that much heat next to them. So we're going to start off there. These hoses can be moved. Hopefully I don't have to like remake them to make them longer so I can route them differently. But it's a tight fit. So yeah, like I said, on this side, they recommend coming up from the bottom. I'm assuming when I have the starter out, I'm gonna have a lot more room and with that ear chopped off. But I still am skeptical on how that's exactly going to work. I don't know. I have my spark plugs in just temporarily, just so I don't get metal shavings down in my cylinders when I'm cutting the ear. I have it taped off. All that I have actually, the tape's coming off a little bit, but yeah, you want to tape everything off. You don't, there's a lot of dust when you're cutting these off. So but yeah, that's what we're looking at. Last resort on this side, I was going to undo this engine mount and use my cherry picker to lift this up a little bit to cock it to where I could give me more room to get down there. Because I kept hitting, it's gonna be hard to see, my camera's probably not gonna focus very well. Down in there on the side of the oil pan, there is a oil cooler plate. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get to it, but it's down by the oil filter right above it. It's basically just a little bypass plate that would normally run to like a oil cooler. It looks like this, actually. Mine, sorry, I got the fan on. Mine has this big nub on it, and I could not get the header in with this in there. It was like, now that I have it in, I could possibly reinstall it. Actually, I have plenty of room. So I probably just put that back in. I did order a ICT billet flat plate that would give me more clearance, but now that I have the header in position, I actually have a buttload of room. So I might just put the stalker back on there. I don't know. I mean, I already ordered the other one, so I might as well use that one. And then also for cutting, I got this bad guy right here. Just using a cordless Sawzall, and I got a Diablo carbide tooth blade. This is a Steel Demon. It's a 12-inch blade. I was trying to use a 6-inch blade originally, but once you start getting down to where it's the wing of the ear starts going, it starts getting longer, needless to say, and the 6-inch isn't quite long enough. So I had to spend like $25 on that blade. You might not need the Diablo carbide tooth blade, but it gave me an excuse to buy it, because it's not too hard to cut through this aluminum on the transmission. You just want to make sure you're not cutting too much where you shouldn't. Like, you know, just keep her straight and let her do the work. And you can also pin it off the wall of the block there that sticks down, so you can just sit there and hold the trigger and take your time, let the blade do the work, keep her straight and steady. But that's about all I have to say about that, I think. Yeah, and it's not easy. Like, if you're trying to do this yourself with these headers and an S10, it's going to take multiple attempts, but just fully expect to remove your brake booster. I don't know if the stock like circle booster might be okay to keep in, because it's not as long, and it's not a Hydro Boost unit like that. But if you have a Hydro Boost unit, it's definitely got to come out, including the master and all that. So you got to get everything out of the way. Anything that looks like it might be in the way, you're gonna have to yank it. Just fully expect to do that. And on this side, the passenger side, I mean, as far as stuff being in the way, in my application, I don't really have a whole lot in the way other than the starter. So, but the hard part is trying to finagle it through here. That I had a fun time with the driver's side, but like I said, once it's the collector at the end, once you get that thing through there and you get it at the right angle, then it will just slide. It'll just kind of go down right in there, and then you just gotta keep playing with it and move it around. It's a tight fit, but once you get it there, it's there. And like I said, last resort, you can put a fucking engine plate right on top of the valley cover there and use a cherry picker and undo your mount on this side and just lift her up and kind of cock it to where you have, it'll get, hopefully give you more room to get the header in there, and then afterwards you can drop her back down and get that bolt back in. May or may not be doing that on the passenger side. I'm just looking at it now, and it's she's gonna be fun. I just don't know if I do something like that now that I got this side in, if I'm gonna hit this header on something. I really don't want to do that, so I don't know, but I digress. First thing is the starter and chopping this ear off, so I'm gonna get to it. All right, starter is off. I just finished cutting through this side. For some reason this side was much more of a pain in the ass than the other to cut off, but she's cut now. Yeah, looks like I got the block a little, just a hair right there. It's whatever though, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so now that I got this taken care of, I need to blow all this shit out. You can see where my Sawzall was rubbing, sending shit everywhere. Basically I had to pin it down and in between here to be able to get that blade in there and cut it. So now I just gotta blow it out and see how the fuck this is gonna fit in there. Man, this is gonna be interesting. So I don't know how the fuck, it's hard to tell, but I got this big lip right here on the cab. Yeah, it's like got this much space. I got lines running through, or my tranny cooler lines running through here. I can move them, but yeah, should be yeah, I don't know. So I'm just gonna play with it and see what happens here. That was fun. My hand is still vibrating. That took a good 15-20 minutes even with that carbide tooth to get through that side. I think this side had more meat on it. The pieces kind of fell down in there, so I don't have them, but yeah, they're all there down on the floor. I don't feel like crawling under there right now. Actually, I'm gonna have to probably for this side, but yeah, I have a feeling on this side I'm gonna possibly have to lift the motor up to get this one in. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, dudes. Here we are about a week and a half later. I'm trying to get the fucking passenger side in. What the fuck? So here we are about a week and a half later. Now that I'm finally able to get a little bit of time, I might be taking tomorrow off work so I can get a lot of shit done on this. It's supposed to be nice. Between weather and everything else in life, it's been hard to get back out here. But anyways, this fucking bastard does not want to go in. Getting hung up on the motor mount, to be honest, right now. I have it pushed all the way over to the driver's side, at least on the front. It might be a little cocked right now because it's still connected to transmission. I didn't move the tail housing of the transmission over, so it is a little cockeyed right now. It's probably hard to tell, just ever so slightly, about I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. You can kind of tell by looking at the mounts that the back is definitely over more than the front. You know, maybe from this angle, you can see it's cocked. So my last resort on this is to disconnect the transmission and pull the engine out, put them in, and then drop the engine back in. I did have to loosen up the mounts on the block, and then it finally scooted over for me. Now it's like really wanting to fucking go in there. But as you can see, I get to about this point right here, and now it's getting caught mainly. I'm trying to see if right now, if I remove that whole both sides of the engine mount, the block side and frame side, and then possibly use the cherry picker here to lift it up and cock it, like maybe lift this side up, I might be able to get it in. So I might try that, but the thing is I need to support the transmission and possibly drop my damn cross member so I don't bind anything up and bend or break something if I do that. I know I don't need to move it a whole lot, but and then the drive shaft too, I might have to take that out. I'm thinking about pulling this back out and then disconnecting this whole engine mount, like frame side and engine side, because I think that might give me enough fucking room. I'm trying to see where it's hitting right now to see what's in the way, but you can see it's hitting in multiple spots right now on the engine mount. The engine mount is just getting in the way. And then once I have this fucking in, I can get the engine mount back on. But I think she's gonna have to come off. So that's where we're at, and I haven't even figured out what the fuck I'm gonna do with these training lines yet. I'm kind of waiting to see once I get the header down in there what that's gonna look like. I'm already looking at my the fuel lines on the driver's side, because I might have to reroute those because my feed is going right over the top of the fucking header and I don't like it. So I might have to figure out something else. I might have to redo some lines, which is gonna cost extra money, which kind of pisses me off, but I don't know, we'll see. I don't have to redo. I'm just gonna try to figure, this is gonna be, I knew these long tube headers was not gonna be easy, but the end result is what we're looking for here. Nothing good comes easy, so. And I honestly don't, if I had to pull the engine, there honestly wouldn't be that much I'd have to do. I'd just do the torque converter bolts, and my transmission bolts should come out pretty easily. I mean, I kind of trimmed a few that I needed to, like this one up here too. So I made it to where I can get them out. I put those in with everything installed to make sure that I was going to be able to take them out if I needed to. So there's that. And then obviously I got that ground wire down there that I have to disconnect, and this lower radiator hose that my dad decided to reconnect, even though I was like, hey, I'm not really worried about that right this second. And then also I would have to disconnect the driver's side header. But I think what we're gonna do before we go to that length is, I think I'm gonna start by removing this engine mount. I tried to go up from underneath like the instructions say, but if you don't have a lift, it's just not gonna happen. You can't angle it how you need to without it, the pipes hitting the floor. You just can't. I don't even know if you could if you jacked it up on a jack stand, to be honest, put on jacks, because you'd have to go up pretty fucking high. These headers are about like 3.5 foot long, so you'd have to jack it up probably close to that high, and that's pretty fucking high. That'd be like jacking the whole front end of this thing up to here, and the fucking bumper would be on the ground and shit. Like, that's not really the way we're gonna go. So we're gonna try to go down from top. I think it can go through the top. I just think we're gonna have to persuade we might have to persuade the engine a little bit. And then if we're persuading the engine, we're gonna have to persuade the transmission and take out the drive shaft, all kinds of fun stuff. Really trying to do this without fucking pulling everything. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm kind of pissed off that I didn't put these in before I put the heads on, to be honest, because I was hitting on the head bolts like several times on this side, and if they weren't there, I don't know, might have gave me enough room to maneuver them in. I should have tried it before I put them on. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. So anyways, I'm gonna try to get this off, see what happens. Ugh, so close. It's like wanting to go. I got it like further than what it's ever been. I got the fucking mount removed. I got it like, I've even tried. Yeah, I've been using this wooden block here to wedge in between the mount pad there and the oil pan just to give me a little leverage. Probably not the greatest idea, but I'm being careful. So I'm getting hooked on the upper control arm, and then like these random little block pieces that stick out from, and it's kind of way the pipes are shaped, but like this block right here, and then there's like a little block on my oil pan down there. I don't know if my camera's gonna focus. Yeah, see that little nubby sticking out on the oil pan? I don't know if I can cut that off or not. Might have to. Yeah, I'm still fighting with it, like trying different ways. I've almost got stuck like 3 times. Pretty much it has to go, the pipes have to run over the top of the lower control arm mount down there that sticks out from the frame. The pipes run between that and the transmission. That's why you have to trim the ear off and shit. So that's where it's supposed to go. That's why I'm kind of going at it like this. But like I have mountains of room. It's just, see right here, keeps getting hooked on there. And if I try going at it like this is really hard to record. So if I try going at it like that, it almost looks like it's just gonna go straight back, but it kind of don't. Here, I'm gonna try to set up my camera and see if I can show you guys what I'm dealing with. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, so we'll see how that works. I kind of got my phone wedged up. I keep fighting my damn light, but you'd think it would just go straight back, but no. Kind of running into the fucking lower again. Now we're running into the lower control arm right down here, or not the lower, the upper control arm ear. Yes, I've tried going at it from the bottom, and like I said before, just I can't lift it up high enough to go through the bottom. I do have a few other plans of attack if I can't figure out how to get this to see. And now I'm hitting the head bolt here, getting control on it. Now I got her fucking stuck again. There we go. So then hitting the back of the fucking block and the upper control arm. Go fucking figure. Let's see, using my wooden block here. I don't know how much of this you guys are able to see. Let's see if I can try to wedge her. This is so fun doing it by yourself. Only one set of hands. Yeah, it's just still not quite enough. So my other plan of attack is probably take the other mount bolt out. Alright, so it's the next day. I think I was trying to go about it all wrong. I looked at pictures, but I was trying to go through there whenever actually the pipes run through here. I'm getting really fucking close. Getting it past the fucking frame there. I just need like a quarter of an inch. My wife's home too, so I'm trying to get her to come back out here and help me, but started thinking last night, and I went ahead and removed the driver's side header and the mount. So there should be nothing over here in the way anymore. Looks like I may be hitting an oil pan down there and probably a transmission tunnel. So that's cool. I'm probably crushing shit. Yeah, I got it moved so far fucking over. We're hitting on the firewall. I got it pushed like all the way over and still not quite enough. I'm gonna wrestle this a little bit more, and if this doesn't work, I'm pulling her out. Really trying to avoid doing that. Just cause like I don't it'd be such a pain in the ass, and I'm so close. I'm like trying to move it around any way I can. It's just not quite enough. It's so frustrating. I'm gonna keep whacking at it though. Alright, I give up. Engine's coming up and out. It's not working. And I'm just playing the death game here with the transmission and everything. So, gonna bolt that back up and yeah, we're just pulling it. I'm done. Fucking done. Alright, boys. All the transmission bolts are out. Here we go again. I don't know how many motors I pulled in my day, but yeah. All the bolts are out, ready to go. Wasn't near as bad as what I thought. Especially when you can move the motor around. See, this is the first time I've done it this way because it's kind of still on the dowels pretty good. So now it's gonna be all about getting the angle right and getting the fucking engine off the dowels without cracking the transmission or anything. And it's kind of awkward because I mean, I don't know. I got the transmission supported by a jack under here with a board, flat piece of board. So I'm gonna have to sit here and play with angles and stuff so I can get the dowels out of the transmission there, or get the engine to release off of it. And then the only other thing is I don't have a leveling thing, and I don't know. I feel like whenever I pick this up, the ass end of the motor's gonna want to drop. So I gotta be wary of that. I'm trying to worry about my oil pan down there. Might end up crashing a brake line here. I don't know, we'll see. It's just NICOP and fucking this whole thing is snowballing on me so bad. Here I am like basically redoing the whole fucking swap to get these fucking headers in, which is really annoying. So, but there we go, all this time and money invested, and I knew it was gonna be a bitch, but holy fuck. I really didn't think I was gonna have to go to this measure. So, and also I guess while I have the engine now, it's gonna make it a lot easier to bang out that body, the pinch thing there on the body. It's kind of where the two pieces meet. I'm gonna have to bang that out, make sure the header doesn't hit that before I even put it in. Because it's gonna be kind of tricky once I get the header in there. I'm not gonna have the engine in yet, so it's not gonna be fully home, and I'm not gonna see anything, and it's not like I want to keep pulling the engine in and back out. So yeah, like I said, now I'm just worried about the ass end of the motor dropping down, and it's probably gonna be a bitch getting it even off the dowels. So it's gonna be fun. Once I get this off, I can lift it up and bang that out, get the fucking header in. I'm mainly just worried about the passenger side because I don't really see me having an issue getting the driver's side in. The driver's side wasn't the problem, it was the passenger side. And it's just barely not enough room to squeeze through there with the way the pipes are bent, so. That's where we're fucking at. And I got the motor drooped down like way low right now. Like lower than what it would be with the mounts on. And I did that just to help me get the transmission bolts out mainly. So yeah, I don't have my tranny jack that I used last time. Well, it's not mine, it was my neighbor's. I almost went up there and borrowed it, but I didn't want to waste time, so I'm just using the regular jack with a piece of board, or a flat board, like a 10-inch board. So I'm gonna have the transmission rest on that. That's really all I need it for. It's not like I'm installing the transmission. I just need to hold it into place so it doesn't fall down. So yeah, there we go. We're gonna pull this fucking motor. All right, we're back at it again. It's been about a week or so since the last time I recorded. But passenger side over here is in now. I only had to pull the whole engine up and out and I had to beat the shit. That firewall up there, I'm not sure if I already said that or not in the last recording. But this is where we're at. The training lines might have to be relocated, and I might have to redo those, unfortunately. Those are just kind of laying there. It's not their final spot. I went to put in the driver's side header, and the transmission was in the way, so I'm going to have to get the transmission back on and then try to get this header down in there. Also noticed it's going to be really fun getting to the flex plate bolts. I'm going to have to go up from underneath instead of doing what I was doing. Yeah, it's going to be really fun trying to torque all those. You get the flex plate, the converter bolts, I mean, to get the converter back on. But right now I'm just trying to get the fucking transmission back up on the dowel pins and get it back on the back of the motor so I can start working on getting the bolts back in. Basically, when I was trying to feed this the driver's side down, it was hitting the transmission there because you literally need every little bit of room you can get to get that in there. But it will go. Just gotta get that on there. I'm probably just gonna get it up on the dowel pins and maybe only put in a couple bolts temporarily just to hold it up there, and then make sure I get this all the way seated before I go fully putting the transmission back on. Because if it still won't go, then I'm gonna have to pull the whole damn motor back out and then put this one in as well while I'm dropping the motor in. But the passenger side was definitely the more difficult of the two. I'll have to like revisit my whole the transmission mount because we did move the motor over and stuff, so I'm gonna have to check my driveline angles and stuff before I'm fully done here. My fuel line here, I don't know if I'm gonna have to rethink that a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. These headers are a lot longer, they're a lot bigger, so I'm gonna have to keep in mind of I got some heat tape and stuff, but I gotta keep stuff away from them so I don't melt shit. So yeah, anyways, I've been putting shims underneath the transmission between that and the tranny jack because this side over here was lower than the other side, so it was kind of tilted. Trying to get that level with how it's supposed to go up on the back of the motor, and then I'm gonna push it up on there and hopefully it'll work. So I don't know why, but I dread taking a transmission on and off. It's such a pain in the dick, especially without a lift. If I had a lift, it'd be so much easier, but man, I fucking hate it. I've done it too many times. But anyways, I'm gonna quit blabbing. I'm gonna get to work. and show you guys step-by-step updates here, and hopefully we can start getting this, because once I get this header and transmission back on, it's all fucking downhill from there. And I still got wiring to do, but I don't think it'll take as long. It won't be as difficult, but I can start slamming this back together and maybe have it fire up again here soon. I don't know, just gotta see how this goes. I don't want to speak too soon. So, but all right. They're finally fucking on, boys. After 2 weeks of fucking with this and pulling the engine out about 3 or 4 times and disconnecting the transmission and basically redoing my whole swap, they're fucking on. Like gaskets and everything. This driver's side got it on. It's lining up with the steering column there. So I test fit that. I need to find the fucking bolts to my steering column that go on the firewall. But yep, and then the passenger side's in. I'm already looking at things that I'm probably gonna have to reroute or rethink now that with these headers and the whole new setup here. Test fitting the intake again. The intake is nowhere near ready to be put on. My steam ports are not going to work because they're keeping it from, it's hitting right here. And then it's also hitting back here. So it's not letting the intake sit all the way. It's not letting it sit all the way down. Like if I, yeah, see, it's not sitting flush yet. I also started looking at how to mount my damn cable bracket, and I don't know if I have the proper hardware to do that. I'll have to check my bolt kit. So I'm looking at a steam port kit that'll work with this intake at least. Also, I got a new battery for my Ugga Dugga, and I gave this little bolt here too many Ugga Duggas and it snapped off in there. And this one stripped the threads and it free spins in there, but it's holding. Whoops. So I gave her too many, I didn't realize that battery made that thing that much stronger. That was my new battery. So but I mean, the bracket's still holding on, so it's kind of whatever. It's holding on there pretty tight. Yeah, and I put this back on. I haven't put the pulley back on the power steering pump. The engine is sitting more to the driver's side now, and I already noticed an issue right here, so I might have to bump it over to the passenger side a little bit so I can get that on. I was trying to put the plug wire on, and it was rubbing, and I know once this thing's running, if I leave it like that, it's gonna rub right through the boot. So I'm gonna have to nudge the engine over a hair or something, or maybe even look at getting relocation brackets or something. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of little stuff like that I'm gonna have to change and adjust and button up. I'm also looking at this. That's my old fuel line right there. Before I had it running across the top of the transmission up to right here. So I just got to pull that down and out. But I'm looking at possibly adjusting my fuel and training lines here. I don't know. I'm going to try to route them without having to remake my cables. So, but yeah, if you're trying to put these headers into an S10, just know you're probably, if you don't have a lift or anything, you're going to be pulling the engine, and you should probably use the recommended mounts. See, the top part by the engine side mounts, they're not what's recommended, but they work. I do have the CPW bottom side mounts, so that's probably the most important thing. But the clearance is great. Like, I actually have all kinds of room over here, I think. I'll have to double check now that I got the gaskets on and bolted in and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I have mountains of room over here on the driver's side. Like clears the control arms, fucking everything. It's just a matter of getting them in. Once you get them in, they fit fantastic. It's just know you're going to be pulling the motor all the way up and out. And then I did have to beat the shit out of this right here to get that to clear. I actually had to take, with everything out, I had to get my my Sawzall and cut that and then bang it, because it's a pretty beefy lip right there. And you can see right here, yeah, you can see my Sawzall mark, so I had to like RTV that or something. But yeah, I had to beat the shit out of it and cut it like multiple times to get that to cooperate. But yeah, no, it fits. That's the only part that gave me shit. Well, other than getting this passenger side head, and I was able to get the driver's side header in without pulling the motor. But so what I did after I pulled the motor out, I got the passenger side one in. It just won't clear the frame. It won't clear the control arm. Honestly, if you're buying these, just fully expect to pull the motor. I tried everything and anything to get that in there, and it just was not working. I ended up having to pull the whole thing. So just save yourself some time and just pull the motor. Just plan for that with these. The driver's side, I was able to nudge it over the passenger side. It gave me just enough room to get that one in there, got it on. Then I scooted it back over to the driver's side, and I was checking clearance of everything, but looks like I'm gonna have mountains of clearance there with my steering shaft. I got the Holly shaft, so, but I am gonna have to bump it back over, because that right there is not gonna work. It's gonna rub right through there. Either that or do some relocating or angling on that particular plug wire or that coil pack. Yeah, and I just have a mess of shit everywhere. And next I'll be looking at pulling my harness through this hole. I'm probably gonna have to make that hole bigger, but have the harness come in right through there and the firewall, that hole there, and run it up through here all clean like. And there's a bunch of other stuff. Need to get a different hose and steam ports and all that stuff. I gotta rethink all that. So it's gonna be a little bit before I get this intake on here. Not to mention I have to finish mounting the transmission back up on the cross member and getting the drive shaft back in, put back in. And yeah, lots of stuff to do. My wife was like, "You gonna be starting it up tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, babe, I'm gonna start it up tonight. I got the whole harness here hanging from the ceiling. Starting her up tonight." I need to get new plugs too. My other plugs weren't bad. It's just, I don't know. I need to probably rethink the type of plug I'm getting. I was getting the stock Bosch Iridiums, but I was looking at heat ranges, and you know, with these upgrades, so it doesn't look too bad. It's not fouled out, but whenever it got hot, I was having issues with misfires periodically. So I should probably rethink that a little bit. Damn. Just looking at the threads there. But yeah, I might go with a slightly colder plug. I think that would be the way to go. Yeah, I'll probably get a slightly colder plug, because I don't know if those guys are going to work anymore. And after doing all this, I might as well put new plugs in anyways. Still have to put the starter back in. I have to put this cap back on. I need to do that before I fucking forget, or else I'm gonna have oil spewing everywhere. I'm just this is the one that came with my oil pan. One second. But yeah, you can see the difference. This one's a lot more slimline, so it doesn't protrude out so much. And I got that because the way the headers were looking, I needed to get a smaller one. So I'll keep that one as a backup, I guess. But I need to get that on the starter. All this other shit. This is old fuel rails. I still gotta get my injectors out of there. I won't be using any of this stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna use this guy or not. I kind of like seeing my fuel pressure on the fly, so I'll probably figure out a way to incorporate it in there somewhere. I got boxes of parts everywhere that I gotta go digging through. There's a million little things I need to do. And then also the push rod on my Hydro Boost unit, it's a little long, and I need to trim that. I've been running with it a little too long, to where, like, whenever I know it's too long because when I go to put it on there, it actually bobbles and it won't, like, it's pressing in as I'm like screwing it down, so it's not supposed to do that. So I'm probably gonna have to pull that little rod out and shave her down a little bit so it's not pushing and keeping that valve open on the master. So hopefully I didn't nick any of my brake lines beating on shit or cave them in or anything. I'm gonna have to double check that, or like, I'm mainly worried about the brake line that goes from this side over to that side on the front. It goes along the cross member under there. I don't know if I hit it with the oil pan a few times or what. But hopefully I didn't crush it. And I gotta rethink a lot of my plumbing here and try to move it and salvage what I can without replacing a bunch of shit. That's another thing about getting these headers, is like they're so much bigger than my old ones over there. So, but yeah, that's fun. Yeah, we went to Cletus and Cars over the weekend. Cletus Cars Indy. Ended up kind of getting rained out, and there was multiple issues this year. It kind of sucked. Well, I mean, the show was good, but just like between the weather, and then they had the track guy accidentally run over all their cables, and there was this issue after issue. Mullet like was about to blow up. Leroy wasn't there. It was just. I'm hoping next year will be a lot better, and hopefully I'll be able to fucking participate. The participant tickets sold out really early this year for some reason, and for some reason there was like a lot. They sold out, and then you had guys out there in like normal ass cars, like a Ford Focus, like fucking running 17, 18s, and I'm like, why? Like, I could have. Not that I was ready, but it just kind of irritated me. I was like, nobody wants to see your fucking Ford Focus do an 18, 19 second pass down the track. Like, nobody gives a shit. I'm just doing it for the meme, but it's kind of annoying for guys like me that actually have a legitimate hot rod that actually want to go. So, I don't know. We'll see for next year, but I'm going to end off this video here. Trying to figure out how I'm going to map all this. I'm doing so much shit, but probably do a video on the intake and all the shit I had to do to get that on there. So if anybody's looking to put this on their S10, their LS swap, they can use it for reference and see all the issues that I run into. Man, there's a lot of shit with this intake, with the throttle body and everything. Like, it's not they say, oh, it's just a simple bolt-on, but you gotta do some modifications to your setup. Especially, like, I think they designed these mainly for Corvettes and shit, so, or Camaros. So if you have one of those, it should just fucking plug and play for the most part, but you got a custom setup, you're gonna have to really rethink some stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna quit blabbing. Stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully here soon I'll get a lot more garage time and get more done. I got the hard part done. Got the headers on, so I should start snowballing now. Wiring might take me a little bit, but yeah. The rest of this is just putting stuff back together and figuring out where to run shit. So shouldn't be too bad, but hopefully this video helps somebody out. Check you later.